Thanks, I hate it.
So Game of Thrones ended on Sunday, and I told myself I was not going to do a video. I was not going to make any Game of Thrones video because every single thing I wanted to say, or at least a lot of the things I wanted to say, so many people have said it all over the internet. So I'm like, I'm not the only one who is pissed. But every single day that goes on just has me getting even more pissed at the stupidity that was season 8. Now, I am 100% sure my opinions are not necessarily yours, and I'm certain that there are people that saw this last season and loved it, that saw the season finale and loved it. Now, if you're one of those people, you definitely will not like this video because I hated season 8 of Game of Thrones, and especially season 8 episode 6. Actually, what am I saying? Season 8 itself was absolute garbage. So yes, if you loved the season, then let's help each other, and will just save yourself the heartache of watching this video, because this video, you would not like it. If you've not seen the series, then yes, this is actually very spoilery with regards to both the show and some things that happened in the book. So yeah, but if you still want to watch the video, then who am I to stop you? So yeah, at the end of the series, I had questions. Initially I was like, should I make it 20? But I'm like, no, I have 17 questions, and they're pretty concise to all the things, or at least some of the issues I had with the show that I just could not keep bottled up. The first being, where the fuck is Elaria Sand? Like, the last time we saw her, she was locked down in the dungeons, you know. Cersei just said that she was going to leave her there to rot away, and my question is she still there? Did she survive? Like, possibility of that is low, of her surviving. But this is the same show where we saw that if Cersei and Jaime had just moved a little bit to the right, like 5 meters to the right, they would have survived. So anything is possible. I'm just curious, where is Elaria Sand? Second question, how the fuck is it that Yara was not made master of ships? Like, make it make sense, other than the fact that, oh, you know what, yes, maybe, oh, she's an ally of Daenerys, but it's still, if you're claiming that this is a new era, you know, and all of that, then you should give this shit to people that, you know, have earned those positions. And as much as I love Sir Davos, why is he the master of ships? Like, compared to Yara Greyjoy, you know, ships is her domain. The Iron Fleet, the reason why our family is such a force to be reckoned with on the seas is because ships is what they do. So how the fuck is Sir Davos master of ships and not Yara Greyjoy? Like, how? Third question, and this is still connected to the appointments. What qualifications does Bronn have? He is a fucking sellsword. He's a fucking mercenary. How the fuck is Bronn the master of coin? Because the only reason why he is the master of coin is because D&D just love him so much, and they know the audience loves Bronn so much, and they're like, you know what, we're going to give him something important. Like, it's not enough that he gets Eye Garden, he also has to be master of coin. How? Peter Baelish might be a lot of things, but at least he has the intelligence, you know, to be master of coin. The same thing with Tyrion, at least before they turned him stupid. But what qualification does Bronn have? Bronn, the mercenary, what qualification does he have to be master of coin? Like, make it make sense, please. In season 7, right, you see, Jaime tried to kill Daenerys, and Drogon nearly told him to barbecue Jaime because, you know, nobody's messing with his mother. So how is it that Jaime, that tried to kill Daenerys, you know, almost got barbecued, and Jon Snow, who actually did kill Daenerys, survives? Like, Drogon was not like, you know what, nah, I'm going to burn that through. Like, that scene was epic. I loved it. But it still did not make sense that Jon Snow just walked away. And nobody should give me any of that bullshit about, oh, the real villain was the Iron Throne. Yes, but Jon Snow is still the person that stabbed her in the back while she was all hugging and loving, and he was like, yeah, sure, we're going to have a great life. And then he stabs her in the back. Like, I don't understand. There are a lot of things I do not understand about this season, and this is definitely one of them. The next question I have has to do with Jon. You know, why was he sent back to the Night Watch? Like, I know everybody's going to be like, oh no, is the king beyond the wall? Please don't. Please don't. He was sent back to the Night Watch to take the vow again. This is after he told us categorically in season 6 that his watch is ended, and he walked away. And now he's going back. And I know people are like, oh my god, it's because, you know, Grey Worm and the Unsullied demanded it. But Grey Worm and the Unsullied are not Westerosi. They are returning to Essos. They are going to Essos. So make it make sense why they such a permanent type. Because you might say that was exile. Right? You might say it whatever way you want to put it, that was exile, you know. So make it make sense that you're trying to justify it by, oh, do you know what, it's to appease, you know, the Unsullied. But the Unsullied are not going to be there. The Unsullied are leaving. So why is it that it's going to the wall? Why? And I wish it was because, oh, he killed Daenerys. That was why. Because that is a stupid ass. Jaime killed a king and he was still walking about free in King's Landing. So definitely killing a monarch, especially a monarch that this series has set up to be like, oh, you know what, if your killing is, what am I even saying, killing a monarch in this series does not be banished to the Night Watch make. So why was Jon's story like that, if not just to get him out of the way? And speaking of Jon, what was the use of us learning or finding out that he's the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna? If that is where you're going to end it, like Varys, that means Varys just died for nothing. Because Varys was all like, oh, do you know what, it should be king, blah, 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 and everything else. And then he was busy spread, and I'm even going to get back to that in a moment. And he was busy, you know, writing letters and stuff like that. So what was the use of us getting that reveal if it's not going to pan out into anything, except all it did was just to further isolate Daenerys and get her to this stupid ass point that the showrunners wanted her in? Like, what was the point? Why build this reveal to be like, oh, something so grand, when it became just stupid at the end? Speaking of things that were built to be grand and then became stupid at the end, let us talk about the Night King. Like, all series long, we've been told that the war between men does not matter. What matters is the Great War, the war between the living and the dead. One would assume that, oh yes, this is all the build up, but no, you build this shit up. Winter is coming. For the last 6-7 seasons, winter is coming. Winter arrived and winter barely lasted an hour and 20 minutes? How does that make sense? How do you build up the Night King to being the big bad of the season and then change your mind like halfway through the end of the season? What the fuck is that? Why the fuck did this show exist to just contradict itself? Why? How does this make any sense? Speaking of contradictions, how do you build up Bran telling us that, okay, do you know what, I am not Bran. I'm not Bran. Like, I'm not Bran Stark. Like, that's what he keeps telling us. I'm not Bran Stark. I am beyond that. You know, he's giving us that imagery that, oh, you know what, mortal things don't concern him. He's not concerned about lauded titles. He tells this to Tyrion, you know. This was not even last season or 2 seasons ago. This season, he tells that to Tyrion and then goes about and changes his mind and he's like, yeah, sure, cool. My great plan was to be king all this while. What? For a character you barely developed. Most of the only role you've had him play for so long is for him to just stay in that chair and walk, and all of a sudden he's this great mastermind. And like, speaking of mastermind, like, if I had any belief that, you know, D&D could spare a pea-sized brain between both of them, I could have been like, oh, do you know what, they thought this thing ahead. Because you know what, the 3-Eye Raven in the books also, who in the books is the 3-Eye Crow, of course, you know, was the last Green Seer and had this really close relationship with, you know, the children of the forest. And that after the first men, right, came and kicked out the children of the forest and took Westeros, took their home from them and banished them, you know, to the wall and all of that. What they have been doing for the last couple of centuries, for almost a millennia, is trying to, what am I saying, almost a millennia, several millennia, is trying to make their way back, to take control of what was taken away from them. If this is how this story had been built, that the children of the forest and by extension the last greens here have been playing a long con to get them back in control in the body, you know, of a boy, of their now crowned king, then I'll be like, oh my god, fucking fantastic. But you know, I know that is not what D&D is doing, because they don't have foresight. They cannot write for shit. I am almost fairly certain that they did not have that thought in their head. Like, no, this is me trying to make sense. This is me trying to be like, oh my god, if they were intelligent, this is how it would have gone. But no, they are not. So of course that is not how it played out. Like, Bran, the same person that a couple of episodes ago told us that it was not going to be Lord of Winterfell, because he's no longer Bran. All of a sudden he's fine to being king of the 6 kingdoms. Speaking of 6 kingdoms, shout out to my girl Sansa, you know, for winning the North their independence. Like, Sansa was like, fuck this shit, I'm out. But if Sansa, you know, if the North could break away and be like, we want our independence, what the fuck was stopping the other lords from doing the same? To be precise, why didn't Dorne, you know, Dorne, that kingdom, you know, that never really bowed and were never conquered, but you know, were integrated into Westeros via marriage, that Dorne that has always strived for independence, why the fuck did Dorne not speak up and say, do you know what, we are also out of this too? Like, why? Damn. Now let's talk about Tyrion. Tyrion Lannister, one of the most brilliant minds in the show, until we got to season 6. You know, like, after escaping King's Landing and making his way over to Daenerys, they just made him stupid. Like, they made him stupid for the sake of the plot, and that is just fucking like, what the fuck? How is Tyrion still the Hand? Like, how is he made the Hand of the King again? Like, he failed as the last hand of the king. He failed, or rather of the queen. He failed as the last hand, because say what you will, Tyrion gave Daenerys shitty advice. Like, after he became a Hand, he gave her shitty advice. A lot of the stupid shit that happened later in the show would not have happened if Tyrion had been Tyrion and given her actual advice. But eventually it's like he just wanted to sabotage her, because he gave her shitty, stupid advice. That even Olenna Tyrell was like, don't listen to this stupidity. This is shitty advice. And this is coming from Olenna, who we know is one of the smartest people in the show. Like, how is he again made the Hand of the King when he was such a shitty Hand the last time? The last time he was in any way a half decent Hand of the King was when he was Hand of the King to Joffrey, and that was pre-season 6 when they made him stupid. So is anybody surprised? Because I'm not. I am definitely not surprised. Now let's go to Daenerys. Daenerys Stormborn Targaryen. Now, I am not gonna lie, Daenerys is one of my favorite characters of the show. Actually, like, the women in the show, like, I love Cersei. She's a bitch, but I respect her. I understand her. What they did to her the last season, the last couple of seasons, I'm like, whatever. I respect Cersei. I love Daenerys. Sansa is bae. Arya, fucking awesome. Before they gave her plot armor, I'm just like, but I still support my girl Arya, so I'm like, yeah. Brienne, oh my god, my queen Brienne, like, Marjorie, Olenna, like, I love the women in the show. Let's say you want to tell us a story about Daenerys eventually going mad, because I actually do see the possibility in that. Like everybody else, I think that it would have been a really great story to show the tragedy of a character with such good intentions that eventually slowly dissolves into madness and becomes the very thing she fears. Although, let's also be real, if that is the journey our story is as our character is going to take, I'm heartbroken, because what does that tell us? That we cannot be better than our genes, that we cannot do better. Why is it that she is the one that is stuck repeating the mistakes of her father, when you have Tyrion, who is better than Tywin, is better than his father. You have Jon, who is half Targaryen, but nobody's all like, oh my god, he's going to get the mad genes. But no, Daenerys has to be the one that gets the mad genes. But that's even aside. Let's say that you do want to tell her story. Make it make sense. Build that shit. Let us see it coming, so that when it arrives, we're like, fuck. Because we saw it coming. But you do not take us from point A to point Z and be like, oh look, 1 minute she's good, the next minute she's mad. What do you mean you could not tell that she's mad? Foreshadowing. Remember that time when she just stood impassionately while they poured molten gold all over Viserys' head? Like, get the fuck out of here. That was somebody that threatened to kill her and remove her baby from her womb. This is someone that has been abusing her since they were kids. Of course, y'all were lucky she was not dancing over his ass, because please do not even give me that bullshit. If that's the case, then let that same law apply to every single character. I fucking applauded Sansa setting Ramsay's hounds on him, because he fucking deserved it. That was not painted as, oh, Sansa might go dark, Sansa might go mad. It was just like, do you know what? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. She took her power. He's gone. He's dead. Bye-bye. Nobody thought, oh my god, she's going mad, when Olenna found the most painful way possible, to have Joffrey assassinated in order to protect her granddaughter. Like, no. Do you want to know why? Because we felt he fucking deserved it. When Arya slit the throat of Walder Frey and killed all his sons, every single one of them, it was a yes bitch moment. We were applauding, because fuck that shit. God. Tyrion killed his father, but let's just even forget that. Tyrion blew a whole ship with wildfire, but we're like, oh my god, that was so fucking smart. What a strategist. Do you know what? Let's say that, okay, do you know what? It's war. Those enemies were soldiers. He strangled Shay. Now, I know you all might be like, oh my god, but did she really deserve it? Because let's be honest, right? Bronn has sold Tyrion out to Cersei. Bronn has walked away, because Bronn is a sellsword. He's a mercenary. He goes where the money is. Shay is a prostitute. But yet, when Bronn betrayed Tyrion, he got rewarded at the end with eye guarding and being called Master of the Coin. When Shay betrayed Tyrion, he strangled her in bed, and we're all like, oh my god. Cricket, especially because in the books, there was none of all those confusing. She actually did not love him in the books. In the books, Tyrion paid her. He fucking paid her to pretend to be in love with him, and then got so carried away by the fantasy he was paying for that somewhere in his brain he thought she loved him. And when she naturally took the self-preservation method, because we all know Cersei in both the show and the book would have killed Shay. When she took the natural logical way to protect her hide, he kills her for it. And I'm like, so why is it that all these characters were not like, oh my god, they go dark, they go mad, but Daenerys gets the oh yes, she watched him passively while I abuser died. She crucified slavers who had before then killed and crucified children, fucking children. But no, the slavers, she was such a are you fucking kidding me? From the same show where the reason why Jorah Mormont was out and on the run was because he sold slaves. Like, that was the reason. He brought dishonor to his family. He had to run. His father cut him off. Like, the same show. But slavers, oh my god, such a horrible way to die. Think about the fucking children. Let's look at the fucking children. And you're trying to tell me that, oh yes, like, think about it. This is a character that chained up her dragons because they burnt a child. She was not even sure if they were the ones that did it. But they thought that they would even do it, that they would even consider it. She bound them. She chained them. And you're telling me that this is the same character that suddenly, all of a sudden, at a point when an entire city had surrendered, this same character that kept saying that what she was doing, she's going to free enslaved people and break the yoke and break the wheel, all of a sudden just burn people because foreshadowing, she's ruthless. Every fucking person in this show has at some point in time been ruthless. That's the whole point of the fucking show. The fact that good people can be fucking ruthless and do bad things, and that bad people sometimes can do good things, like because they are fucking human. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? God damn. God damn. We're not saying there's no possibility that she'll go mad. We're saying let it make sense. Show us on that journey. Make it logical. So when we arrive at it, we are like, fuck. You know, I saw a video, Cosmo Variety Hour was like, this would have made so much sense if the bells had not rung. Right? Like, Cersei was like, no, fuck that shit. You are not going to ring those bells. And Daenerys felt like the people were not surrendering and she had no choice. You would have gotten the same ending, but it would have been heartbreaking because it would have said a couple of minutes ago when Tyrion was like, if the bells are wrong, that means the people have surrendered. And she said, okay, fine. How do you go from okay, fine to she hears the bells and she kills them anyway? Don't tell me it's about Missandei, because Missandei had died before she made that promise before she agreed with Tyrion. So no, that was an utter butchering of her character, because they wanted to get from point A to point Z and they wanted to wrap this story up. And you know, if all this while, because George R. R. Martin did tell them, you know, how he eventually wanted to end the story, just bullet points. If they knew that eventually she was going to go mad, why not set it from the beginning? Why not slowly start telling the story from the beginning? Don't tell me, oh, foreshadowing is not fucking character development. I know everybody in the internet is saying this, but yes, foreshadowing is not character development. God. Speaking of another character that was absolutely butchered, Jaime Lannister. You know, a bad guy that sometimes does good things. You know, a guy that we find out that the only reason why he has been called Kingslayer, you know, the real reason why he's been called Kingslayer, because of course he killed the king. But why did he kill the king? He told us, specifically he told Brienne and by extension the audience, that, you know, he did it to protect lives. He was not going to sacrifice thousands of lives, you know, to obey a command of the king. And so he killed him, and in so doing he saved the people. His reward, of course, was that he was called Kingslayer, because these people were all about honor, but whatever. His reward was that he was called Kingslayer and all of that. But this is a character that has shown that, you know, he would do good things for people, especially for the people he loves. Like, okay, he's twisted, he's stupid, but you know, in pushing Bran out of the window, he did it for Cersei. It's stupid. It's a twisted, abusive love and really, really gross. But he did it for Cersei, right? This is a character that, even at a point when we did not really know him and we did not even really we did not really feel a need to like him. Here is someone that spoke up for Brienne and prevented her from being raped, you know, when they were first captured, and lost his arm for that. Like, they cut off his hand for that, right? Yeah, sure, it was his arrogant, but it was also a build-up of a lot of things, because that happened shortly after that. Here is someone that, even with his hand that had been cut, still jumped into a pit with a bear in order to save Brienne. Here is someone that walked away from his sister, telling her that, you know what, he gave his word. He's going to help fight. He's going to go to the north and help them fight against the Nightwalkers, even though we all know that his fighting skills have gone really down. Like, this is a character you've built up to do all of that, and then have him tell us that, oh, I never really cared about the people, whether they be guilty or innocent. Like, that is a fucking lie. That is a nobody tell me that, oh, he was lying to you know, he was lying to Tyrion. Fuck that shit. One of the last few moments that Jaime had to speak was done to utterly and completely butcher his character and render every single sacrifice and every single good deed he has attempted to do for naught, because now he does not care about the people. How? How? Makes no fucking sense. Next question. Why make every single character dumb or stupid or irrational? Like, why? Do not even tell me that Varys is the master of whispers and decided to openly talk about treason, you know, and overthrowing Daenerys with Jon Snow in public. How? Tyrion has not been smart or intelligent since season 6. Like, I say season 6, season 5. Like, it's been stupid for quite a while now. The same thing with, like, you make Daenerys so evil. I cannot even deal with. Why are previously smart characters so stupid? Why do they make such dumb decisions? How can you tell me that the reason why Daenerys, who is on a dragon, did not see the entire Iron Fleet is because, oh, she forgot they were there? What are they? Imaginary friends? If they are not real, they do not exist. What the fuck? Makes no sense. Zero sense. Zero whatsoever. And don't get me started on Sansa's conversation with the Hound. Like, in what universe did they think it was in any way a good idea for Sansa to imply that her rape, her abuse, right, and the violence she experienced was needed to make her a stronger character? What the fuck is that? What the fuck kind of reason? Like, who sat down and thought, I'm going to write, yeah, this makes perfect sense for her to say? Are you fucking stupid? What? Why is Grey Worm, why are Grey Worm and the Unsullied going to North? Like, did Missandei not tell them? Because last time I checked, or at least in the books, we do know that in North, the reason why North, who are really more vegetarians and really peaceful people, the reason why they've not been outrightly conquered, you know, with their pacifist way of existing, is because they are poisonous butterflies that literally melt the flesh of people's bones in North. And those butterflies attack if you are not a native of North. It's the reason why people cannot stay long enough to conquer them, because they die in very horrible, painful ways. So why is Grey Worm and the rest of the Unsullied, why are they going to North? Is it that Missandei never told him? Like, I know he made a promise to her, but he's not going to survive. So I guess they're all walking to their doom then, or rather they're rowing to their doom, or they're sailing. That's the word I'm looking for. They are sailing to their doom. And the thought of that has me very depressed. Very sad and very depressed. And also tell me, please God, tell me, why is it that you spent the entirety of season 7, right? Why did they spend the entirety of season 7 wrapped around the theme of, you know, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives? Like, that was one of the strongest themes of season 7. How do you now follow that up by spreading / scattering the Star Kids when you've told us in season 7 categorically that they only survive if they are together? And now they're all over the ends of the earth. Like, Arya is sailing away. Like, I hope she discovers, you know, amazing things, but does not become a colonizer, because we don't want Arya the conqueror. We just want Arya, like, going on adventures, just saying, and, you know, helping the people she meets along the way and just finding inner peace. She deserves peace, right? You have Arya sailing into nowhere. You have Jon, who, you know, is now on the other side of the wall. You have Sansa, who is Queen of the North. All hail the Queen of the North. And you have Bran, who is now the king of you know, 6 kingdoms. Like, you scattered them, which means that the entire thing you spent season 7, you know, walking around, is all for naught. A lot of the things in this show, they've turned for naught in this stupid ass season. Like, I'm confused. Speaking of the wall, why are they still going to the wall if the White Walkers have been defeated? Like, what are they defending the realms again? That's 1. 2, how was the wall built so fucking fast? Because we saw how that wall came tumbling down. Viserion did not spare any part of that. That wall was melted. So this this is the same power that they've had where they've unlocked fast travel, right? Because I was telling my friends, I'm like, the speed in which characters not travel from one end to the other in this story, when in previous seasons it would take them multiple episodes, even seasons, to get from point A to point B. Now they just get there in like a couple of weeks, and in one episode they have arrived at where they're going. I'm like, this is like a game. Fast travel has been unlocked. That is the secret that we did not know, and now we know it. So now there's fast travel. So what? You can now build, coins. They bought coins to build the wall faster with superhuman speed, because make it make sense, it does not make sense to me at all. And finally, my last question, and I sincerely hope that this is the last time I ever have to talk about Game of Thrones TV show. When will George R.R. Martin finish writing Winds of Winter and Dream of Spring so we can forget this clusterfuck of a series ending? Like, I don't mind. I'm patient. All good things come to those who wait. I am willing to wait. I sincerely hope he finishes them soon, because this is bullshit. But you know what? I think George is all about that life now. The hype has died down. Everybody's all like, what the fuck? And I'm certain you'll be like, oh yeah, sure. So I'm releasing the book soon. I know you hated the series, so I know you hated the way the TV show ended, so pick up my book. Like, it's a great marketing strategy. We stand a long plan. It's the long game. He was playing the long game, you know. You have to understand, a writer that can come up with the mind of, you know, someone like Peter Baelish and Olenna Tyrell, you know, and even this long con that, you know, the Children of the Forest just played on the Oath of Westeros, like, you know, he's a master of the long con. Like, I stand. But yes, I am not going to end this entire video ranting and stuff, because you know what, the cast did a fantastic job. Love the work, love how they brought each of these characters to life. Like, I am in love, I am in awe. The cinematography always on point, the editing, the person that does their visual effect, the people that come up with the music score, we applaud every single one of them. As for D&D though, fuck you, fuck your